Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Emory, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Let's go. Am I good?
Oh, you're plenty good.
All right, am I? Let's go. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. We're live from the Real Talk Studios. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web. GibsonMayor.com. Tom Renone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwagade, Dan McGuckin, Robbie Povin, the ones and twos. The family out there. Tons to talk about tonight. We'll have Emory Hunt joining us at 10 o'clock from the Czar Playbook. Well, no, yeah, Czar of the Playbook.
He is the Czar of the Playbook.
The Czar of the Playbook. Covers the Giants and Jets, so we'll get his breakdown on that. We'll have him 10 o'clock. Tonight, he'll be joining us calling in. We'll have thoughts and predictions later on in the show. Offensive, defensive players of the game. Your chance to win a couple bucks from us. Nobody ever does it. Nobody ever wants to win money. Nobody ever screenshots.
How hard is it to take a screenshot?
We can only offer so much here, Mike. We can only be givers for so long. Eagles Giants preview. And is there an Eagles Super Bowl hangover that's got to be discussed tonight as well? But that ties right into our poll question, brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find on the web, scanzanosports.com. Thursday night star of the game will be Carson Wentz, Jalen Mills, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley, somebody else. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. Family, what's happening, boys?
Oh, what's up, man? Missed you.
Oh, I missed you too.
I saw you last week, but we weren't. We weren't on the air together. It's not
like
the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's more of a passing by. That's all it is.
It's like, hey, Daddy, how you doing?
Good
Bye-bye.
to see you. Yeah. I'm gonna get in as quick as possible. I'm gonna sprint in, not because of anybody, just because I get out of people's hair. You know what I mean? I get out of people's hair. Got to try and do shows.
You do a run in on Lazy Booking, and I say hi, and then you're gone.
Yeah, because if I stay too long,
you're
it's
like the Phantom.
Grab a headset. Everybody, oh my God,
wrestling.
Yeah, and I'll say some smart things, and they'll be like, "Wow, you know wrestling? I had no clue."
Get out!
I just repeated stuff you guys said.
Get him out of his comfort zone. He picks up a chair, whacks you over the head, and he leaves.
Like I have no idea what to do with my hands when we're talking wrestling. No clue. I do it here. I think they're right here. So we have tons to talk about.
Whoa. You're Italian. You know what to do with your hands.
This is why they constantly move.
Here.
They constantly move.
Right
I'm like here with Greg. Here with Greg all the time. So then we talk about thoughts and predictions later on in the show. Emory Hunt from the Czar of the Playbook. I got it right that time.
Yeah.
We'll cover the Giants and Jets, so we'll get his reactions of the game coming up and some thoughts on what he said about Eli Manning when he was covering him in preseason. Something Mike talked about. Want to get his thoughts on that too about Eli. maybe not having the zip and being able to stretch the field like he could do in the past. So that ties into this game a little bit on how I think Jim Schwartz needs to attack it. We'll talk about that. Eagle-Giants preview, Eagles Super Bowl hangover.
Actually, Emory just texted. He said he will call in about 10:15.
10:15. There you go. Updates. We're here for updates. Thursday poll question. Thursday night star of the game will be who? Carson Wentz, Jalen Mills, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You know where to find us. Boys, who is it? Who's going to be it? And if you want to wait a sec, I get to the family. Rob Brinkman says, geez, full couch. That's how we do it, Robbie. That's how we do it.
I don't see no couch here.
Peter Albertson.
I see nice big leather
full
chairs.
Get your mind right, Rob. You've been sitting on the chair for a while now.
It's a full boat.
Peter Albertson, first post. I love when guys come in first
Yes.
post. You know, that's when you know you're growing, bitches. When you come in and guys are first. You know what I mean? Danny, you know. Come on, Daddy. Don't leave. Don't leave me hanging. You know what I'm talking about. Rob Raven says fourth. Here we go. Rob Brinkman, Odell going for 250. I don't know how he's going for 250 unless he's throwing to himself, Daddy. I don't know how that's working.
Well, after last week, he might have to throw to himself.
I just don't see it. Rob Lutman, yawn. I need something to get excited about. Shady doesn't do it for me. Also, have you seen my? And then Facebook cuts it off like they do. Mike Parker, wow, Rob. We're saying Odell going for 250. It's not happening. Rob Lutman said we better win. Danny Donato, that offensive line needs to step the hell up before they get Wentz injured again. Factual.
Truth.
Ismael Rodriguez feel like Dallas will have a good game and Clement will step up. Defense needs to watch out for those, double moves. We know that's coming. And our resident Crumb chime in.
I thought for a second he was going another way when he said Dallas, and then I totally forgot we have a Dallas.
We have a Dallas. And Sean Spielman.
And the way this will be his week too, because he's like one game on, one game off, one game on, one game off. So this will be his on week.
Sean Spielman, if the Eagles don't score more than 24 points against the Giants, that's embarrassing. That being said, Giants 31, Eagles 20. Wouldn't expect anything less from your brother. Mike Parker, a screenshot every week, but my scores have been awful. Like we said, you got a chance to win money here. You want to win money? Try to win it.
So if the predictions are awful, the screenshots get deleted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Deion Brown, what's up, fellas?
What up, Deion?
Poll question. I don't see Odell having a stupid, crazy night. My focus will be on Shepard and Barkley.
That's fair.
I mean, I would hope that their defensive game plan is to take Odell Beckham away and make somebody else beat you. But I don't see Saquon having as big a night as some people think he's going to. This is the number one rush defense in football. You know what I mean? Up front, we stopped the run really well. Now, is he a freak? Absolutely. I think we shut him down. I think we shut Saquon down. Now, the rest of the offense, we'll talk about that throughout the show a little bit.
Can I just throw something out, though? When you say that, like, I understand that there's a lot of people that are pissed off right now, a lot of people that are paranoid, and a lot of haters that want to sit here and be like, I told you so. This team is 6 plays away from being 5-0. Like, I'm sorry. And I know people want to say, ifs and buts don't matter, but realistically they are. They don't give up 2 huge plays in Tampa. They win that game. They play more aggressive coverage in overtime at Tennessee. They win that game. And then if they don't have the roughing the passer penalty and they don't have the fumble against the Vikings, they win that game. Every loss, 2 plays. 6 plays away from being an undefeated football team.
Well, my reaction after Sunday was book tour, kissing babies, and signing autographs is what I thought like some of this team was still on.
Oh, Cole Hamill syndrome.
Yeah, one being Lane Johnson. Like, Lane Johnson, where are you? Like, you know what I mean? That's my issue with this offensive line. Okay? Wisniewski, different situation. You're not an all-pro. You know what I mean? You're not a pro bowler. The rest of this offensive line is. You got a lot of money tied up in this offensive line. $6, $7, $8 million, a guy on that offensive line. Well, Lane Johnson, where are you? Because you're getting beat inside. And you get beat inside in this league. And for people out there that want to blame that on Carson, get a clue. Because you get beat inside on this league, and that hit happens, that's fumble every day. And not a quarterback in football is holding on to that football unless they're lucky. Unless they get lucky. It's just the way it is. Now, it so happens our luck, it gets hit up in the air, and Lendell Joseph goes 64 to the house. Like, you know what I mean? You would have thought Dalvin Cook checked in. Okay, so.
Then he's tapping oxygen. Oxygen.
Yeah, well, of course he is. But you understand?
Displaying that sprinter speed.
Lane Johnson, this is 3 times in 2 weeks where you got your ass beat badly. Badly. Here's one thing about getting beat in this league, and everybody gets beat, but beat badly. Okay? And to me, you're still in the book tour.
He's allowed 2 fumbles in back-to-back weeks.
Right? You're still in a book tour. There's 2 guys on this offense that look hungry to me. 2 guys that look really hungry. That is Carson Wentz and Wendell Smallwood. And Wendell Smallwood cannot be a 20-carry a game back because he'll be dead. Okay? He's not built for that. But they're the guys who are looking like they're playing really hard offensively.
I'd give you 2 more.
Well, because he catches game.
He's
Zach
leading tight ends and receiving.
That's great. And how many catches do you have on the last drive? 4 when they're playing 40 yards back? Come on. That's pad stats. That's like, you know what I mean? To me, that's a 3-run homer when you're down 10. You know what I mean? In the 9th. That's a pad stat.
That was GTP in fantasy, baby.
And I love
garbage
Zach.
time points.
I love Zach. But, Zach's played well, but I'm talking hungry. You know what I mean? Like hungry.
No, I would tell you Jason Peters, but he can't stay on the damn field. And Alshon.
Yeah.
Alshon's played great since he's been back.
No, he has, but there's two that stand out. I mean, Wendell, every time he carries the football, I'm not crowning Wendell Small, but every time he carries the football, it looks like he's trying to make a football team. You know what I mean? And Carson's played well.
He's running angry.
Oh, he is running angry.
Yeah, he's running very angry.
What else we got? Mike Parker says, start of the game might be Odell in a loss. Wow. Oh, I mean, I guess he means the Giants losing. Robert Abrams, why is Wisniewski not starting at left guard? Same shit. They got Mills playing 10 yards off the ball and Darby doing it too. I think part of that is, I think it's, you heard Jason Peters and the comments that came out surrounding him sort of, not working well with Wisniewski.
Yeah.
Now, a Hall of Famer and a Pro Bowler comes in and says, you know what, I'll work better with the other guy.
Wisniewski threw someone on his knee last year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I work better with the other guy.
Yeah.
That could be part of it, too.
You also hear the nagging injury aspect with Wisniewski, just that lingering thing that just can never get right. But, I mean, put a trash can there because sell them out. It stinks, too.
Right, but there is something to be said about that, though, because when you look back at last year, Vaitai played a lot better with Wisniewski, and Peters played a lot better with anybody but
else.
Wisniewski. So, interesting.
Yep, something just to keep an eye on. If he's benched more because of chemistry, which is so important between your guard and your tackle. You know what I mean? It really is. Now, if Kelsey's feeling the same way at center, you got two guys on the side of you, like, we work better with the other guy, or, whatever it is.
Well, that's another one right there. Because that sucker, he just thinks that, he's never going to have to buy a drink in this town again because he made one goddamn speech. And frankly, he hasn't played worth anything in these first 5 games.
No, he hasn't. The whole offensive line's stuck. Okay? It's wake-up call on Thursday night. It's a backyard brawl right in your brother's backyard, your stepbrother. I mean, that's where you're going. Yep. You're going right to your brother's backyard. It's a brawl, and you know what you're in for. Okay? You know what you're in for. And if you lose to this football team, regardless, because you caught the game up at home, and we thought you were this dominant football team and this dominant defense at home, and I still don't see it. I don't see them finish it, right? There's spurts of last year. And when we can talk about how they're close, yeah, they're close. But the whole league's close. Every game's close in this league. So I can't go what is. I can go off of get your job done. Not that there's anything wrong with, hey, we're this close because we are. That's the point. You see us this close. It's one thing you're getting beat by 10, 15, 14 a game, which nobody really does in this league. But still, you're close. You're right there.
But you're right, though, because it's more frustrating to know you're that close and you're not getting it done than it would be to be getting blown out.
Yeah.
Because if this team was getting blown out, you could just say, you know what? Maybe this year we are just not good enough.
Yeah, or just sloppy the whole game, but there's spurts.
But this goes back to what I was saying. This team is 6 plays away from being undefeated. The defense basically gave up 16 points last week because they had the touchdown on the fumble recovery. 4 points were given to them on the penalty, so the defense only gives up 12. You'd expect the offense should be able to pick it up and win. Look what they did last year. But this offense right now is just basically like in neutral.
Well, keep that point because that ties into 2 things. Go ahead.
The other thing, Toe, is you're also 2 to 3 plays away from being 0-5 as well. You know what I mean? If you want to go the other way,
it goes both ways.
It's fine.
I mean, it's a fair point that, you're right. You're real close to being a shell. I mean, not a shell, but maybe a shadow of what you were last year.
Well, Greg, what do you preach?
Just because.
What do you preach? What do you preach to kids? You preach control what you can control, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of things that they can control, like penalties, miscues. Now, you throw a pick, right? You fumble a ball, that's not always controllable thing.
It's the mental error versus the physical error.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't have
way too much mental.
You can't
the
have
physical error you can fix.
Yeah, you can't have
and you
four,
can live with.
You can't have 4 illegal formation penalties in one game.
No.
You shouldn't have 4 illegal formation penalties in a season.
No, and what does that tell you? That tells me book tour, kissing babies, and signing autographs. That's exactly what it tells me. I hate to say it. No, listen, I don't think there's a flip of a switch in anything in life. Okay, I think this is still a good football team, but the tying to Mike's point offensively, when your quarterback isn't through OTAs and isn't throwing first team reps in the preseason, your number 1 wideout's not there either. That's chemistry issues. big-time chemistry issues. Now, every week I keep waiting for it to click, and you see signs of it, but never the full thing. So hopefully Thursday, and we'll do it in our predictions, but hopefully Thursday we get that full click. Let me read off some of the comments, and guys, get ready to answer the poll over here. Nick Reese says Wentz, Dane Donato Wentz. Deion Brown says keep a two-deep safety and let linebackers do their fucking jobs. It's a reason why we're the second in the league against damn running game. No, he's right. Peter Albertson, Eli will get buried. Wentz will get buried. Went off an MVP, 325, 4 TDs. Bennett, 2 sacks, 28-17. Wow. I like it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all. And Sean Spielman says 6 plays from 5-0. Giants are 63 yards from being 2-3. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, the Eagles are 2-3. We'll see if that's 3-3 after Thursday. Christine Hopkins, thumbs up. Deion Brown, 2 6-packs of Sierra Nevada's Purple Haze on deck tonight. Let's talk about it.
My man's going expensive tonight.
I love it.
No High Life, no PBR. He's going upscale.
Picked it up on a Wednesday night, Deion. I love it. All right, boys, poll question. Who's your guy's star Thursday night?
Toss it to the young bull.
Does it have to be one of them 4?
Asshole.
No, anybody.
Answer the question.
The D-line. The
All
D-line. I need it to be the D-line. They're not getting any pressure. I need Brandon Graham to have a huge night. I mean, neither quarterback's going to be throwing it all over the place. It's going to be raining. So I need the D-line to just dominate the game.
Did you do well on your SATs?
What?
Because I'm thinking, like, you have options A, B, C, and D, and you, like, go to the proctor and go, well, does it have to be one of these?
All right. I'm just saying.
No, it's fine. You could take the D-line.
I'm going Odell. I just don't know. I don't think the secondary can cover me or you right now, or any 4 of us on this couch or chairs. I don't see them being able to coverage. And yeah, I know we won't get beat deep, but it's gonna be to your point earlier, they're gonna try and stop Shepard. You know what I mean? They're gonna try and maybe worry about Saquon coming out of the backfield. And when as we saw last week with all the weapons that Minnesota had between Diggs and Thielen and Rudolph, and some of these guys are getting missed, and someone's going to get missed, and it's Odell's been having he is having an unbelievable season right now. Maybe not unbelievable, but a very good one.
Fair.
I'm actually going to go with Saquon, but I'm going with Saquon not so much as a ball carrier, but a receiver, because other than Jordan Hicks, I'm just not sold on these linebackers or the safeties right now. I mean, Nigel, he missed one game. You'd think he missed all of training camp. Like, he's just basically been non-existent so far this season. Malcolm, and who knows who they're going to plug in at free safety this week. They bumped Trey Sullivan up from the practice squad, and they're talking about they may just start him just to try to shake things up. It's... that's the thing is that the Giants are the team that should be playing desperate. Right now, the Eagles, you're 2-3, but, knowing what you went through last year and what you experienced last year, you shouldn't be the desperate team. And I'm starting to see signs of a little bit of desperation there. And I don't know if it's because of injury or fan reaction or just philosophy, whatever. I don't think it's coming from Doug, but I do think it's coming from in that building.
Well, it's hard not to. It's hard not to, think this. To me, this is a must-win football game. Now, can you still win a division? You lose this game? Yeah, you can, right? And you got to get hot. But it starts tomorrow night. It doesn't start next Sunday, right? It starts tomorrow night. If you want to be a big boy in the NFC, like we talk about, walk, talk, and bark like it, for all intents and purposes, then this is the game where you got to go dominate. Now, I don't care how you go to a locker room with. I don't care if you beat a team by 40, if you beat a team by 2 points, 2-run homer. I don't give a shit how you win. But this is a game that's a must-win to me.
I agree.
A must-win, because then, to your point, where the desperation and the finger pointing will start, they lose tomorrow night, there's going to be a lot of this going around.
Yeah.
You can write it down on by Friday morning. There's a million quotes by people pointing fingers. Just like sort of what Jay did, okay, last Sunday, right? Jay comes out, wants to point finger at Doug and the play calling, right? That's the kind of shit that happens in losses. The reason everything was all roses last year is because we were winning games.
Because you didn't lose.
You weren't losing. So that can only go on for so long, no matter how good your culture is.
You know what pisses me off about that, though? To me, that was like, I'm hurt. I know I'm hurt. I'm probably out for the season, and these guys aren't going to re-sign me. I don't give a shit if I won a Super Bowl last year. I'm taking a shot on my way out the door.
Yeah,
and that pisses me off.
Yeah, and that's crumb, and that's sort of why Miami wanted nothing to do with him anymore, and we got him, and he was a good soldier essentially last year for the majority of the year. Besides saying one thing stupid.
Garrett kept him in line.
Yeah, and I just don't do your job in this league. You're a pro. You get paid a lot of money to be a pro. Now the guys get paid a lot of money to coach, absolutely, but you get paid a lot of money to be a pro. When you put balls on the turf, I don't give. If the back's so bad, then sit it down then. Okay? If the back's so bad. If not, and you're ready to go, you hold on to footballs in this league. You can't fumble on the 7-yard line and then come out and talk about your coach or play calling. Grow up, Peter Pan. That's not how things work. That's how crumbs operate, and that's how bad teammates operate. And that's what creates bad locker rooms. All right? So bye, girl. Bye, girl. Seriously. See ya. I got no time for fumbles in this league and turnovers. They'll kill you and they'll cost you football games. That's why I came out and said Jay Ajayi is the reason we lost Sunday. Bigger than any other thing. You don't fumble in the 7, that's probably a touchdown at some point on that drive. Or at least 3, that changes a lot of things, right? Yeah. Changes a lot of things.
If you put 7 on the board there, you take all momentum completely back. I mean, that was the first drive of the second half. You know, you went in down 17-3. You come out, you make that game 17-10 right out of the gate in the second half. You get all the momentum back.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. And to come out and be that kind of guy, I don't have time for them guys.
It just goes to show again just how special last year was. Because to be honest with you, remember last year I was the infamous 7-9 guy.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of this team this year was what I expected last year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's a fair statement.
Like the flashes of greatness at times. You know, Carson, his first drive back off of injury, just marches right down the field for a touchdown. But that's been it, like from the offensive standpoint. And the defense, you're right. You know, at home, you know, and Danny, you showed me, and I think we posted those stats earlier of last year versus this year through 5 games.
Close.
And they're almost identical.
Yep.
So
defensively, they're there.
Defensively, they're there.
Same.
You know, and it's just
like
so yeah,
mind-boggling.
Scary safe.
Yeah.
There's flashes of this is a great team, but this is kind of the team that I thought was last year.
But
that's just goes again how special last year was. To your point, curses end in weird ways to the point where no injury essentially hurt us last year, where it's killing us this year. You know, those fumbles, you know, and like because you're right that 3 possessions inside the 30 don't come out to 0 points.
No, we talked about it. I don't know who that team is.
Yeah.
That team's scoring 21. You know what I mean? But you got to come away at least, something on them drives. And that's the thing that from last year to this year is last year they found ways to get the locker rooms with wins. They found ways to win football games. Even in tight ones, they found ways to win it. Now, I need to find where that team is. That team needs to find where that team is. You want to talk about hungry dogs. Hungry dogs don't come out and lay eggs the year after. Hungry dogs make it a point to say, that wasn't a fluke. We're legit, and we got our QB back, and we're even going to be better like we thought we were. When you looked at this roster going in, and every man out there, because if you said you didn't, you're lying, said, this is a better roster. This is a better roster.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Everybody did. Everybody did, hey, included. And it should be. And like you're saying, you're this close. You're this close. Well, that's why Thursday's so important. Because you get to 3-3, and you're like, okay. You know what I mean? You go win a divisional game, and you say, we're here. We're figuring things out. And then the confidence starts to come, like that we can get it done again.
And you have 10 days to prepare for Carolina, and then you're at home.
Yep.
Coming off a home loss, I don't think they should lose 2 in a row at home.
Oh, absolutely not.
So,
no, you're absolutely right, because those next 2 games, Carolina at home and then London, there's 2 tough games heading to the bye if you lose this week.
Right.
If you win this week, not saying that those games are any less tough, but the perception of those games
you're right.
aren't as tough,
right?
Especially with 10 days at home. London's going to be tough because the team has never done it before, and that's where I just think Jacksonville, because they've done it 7 times every year, just has a bit of an advantage just on the travel.
Right, but here's the thing. To both of your points, if they would have won on Sunday and gone to 3-2, you start looking at the rest of the schedule, and especially after seeing the way New Orleans played on Monday night, you look at the rest of the schedule and you go, You know, the only two games on this schedule I'm really worried about are the Rams and New Orleans. And, you know, Jacksonville and London's going to be tough. But you drop to 2 and 3, and now all of a sudden you got people looking at every game on the rest of the schedule going, I don't know. And it shouldn't be the case.
Well,
What's up, big dog?
Well, with OTAs.
We got to run in. We got to run in.
Big fella.
Fucking win tomorrow. Lose my shit.
Well said.
If we don't win tomorrow. Off the brick. I just was coming to pick up fantasy baseball winners because someone's a champion.
Let's go.
Let's go.
My man.
Fucking does, okay?
Well said.
What up, Willie?
What an entrance. What an entrance from the big fella.
Let's go.
I didn't know who the hell it was. All I saw was shadows. I'm like, who is that? It's somebody gigantic. A gigantic man breaking into the studio.
Is that the Big Show?
Later, brother. Let's fucking go. Giddy
Yeah,
up.
I'm going to be advancing.
Yep, I won't be doing a show Sunday. No show Sunday. If we lose, no show Sunday.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
I love it. What a walk-in.
Wilson-
What a walk-in by the big fella.
The Wilson run in.
Oh,
I
my
love
God.
it.
I'm looking like, because I can't, the light's in my face. I'm like, who is that? It's a big boy at the door. I said, this is where it ends for me. I knew it was coming soon.
Greg, did you drop a Big Show reference?
I did rob a Big Show.
I
Right?
love
It did. It's like
What
this,
an entrance,
this
man.
giant guy walking through the door. It's like it's the Big Show.
So Robert Valdez, hopefully I got that
Rob
right.
Valdez, yeah.
Robert Valdez. 7 and 9 guy? Is this guy acting like he's the smartest guy in the room? I guess that's right, Craig.
I am the smartest guy in the room.
Listen,
No
he
one
did it
just
all
listens
last year, Rob.
That's
He's been
debatable.
Mr. Negadelphia. Mr. Negadelphia.
But his Negadelphia took us to a Super Bowl because every
You're
time
welcome.
Every
In the-
time he
in-
picked against him.
In the words of Damian Mizdow, you're welcome.
Dawn, where are we at? Mike Parker says, Wilson. If anyone thinks, and then Rob says, if anyone thinks Foles should be the QB, they should be put in jail. Like, we completely agree there. Connor Walsh. What up, Connor? If we
Yo,
lose tomorrow,
Connor.
I will sacrifice a kidney for Bell. You heard it here. You heard it here first.
I got a couple over here on the gram.
I'll sacrifice some things, too.
John
I'm
Little
in,
Harris,
too.
what happened Sunday? I missed you guys. We didn't do a show Sunday, or the Eagles. I don't know which one. They didn't show up either.
They didn't either, so, I mean, we both were missing Sunday.
If we lose the next game, get ready for next season. Do not give up draft picks. Need them because of cap problems. A year or two to get them back strong and younger. I'm down with that, I guess. And he says no more Band-Aid moves. Future moves are needed.
Van, we'll get to all your comments in a few minutes here. We have a little guest on the Real Talk Hotline.
Yeah, we do have a guest on the Real Talk Hotline. He is the founder and CEO of the football Gameplan, the czar of the Playbook, and one of the busiest men in football today. Give it up for our man Emory Hunt. Emory, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, man. I appreciate you guys having me tonight.
I appreciate you taking the time to join us. So you were at you were doing some work at Dell State today, huh?
Yeah, meeting up with Coach Rob Middlestate, a great dude, and a guy that, I watched in the NFL, and was able to take it about his program and got going on.
Ah, nice. So taking away they're putting aside the college for a couple minutes. We want to talk a little bit of Eagles-Giants with you tonight because obviously, I know that MetLife Stadium is like your home away from home, and you've got some extensive coverage with the Jets and the Giants. You and I talked a little bit before the season about the Giants, and one of the things that you said to me that pretty much resonated through that conversation was that you had sort of said that, now that they have a healthy Odell and Saquon Barkley, that they basically had weapons all over the field, but were the offensive line going to be able to protect Eli, and was the quarterback going to be able to get the ball down the field? And now they're 22nd in total offense, so it appears that you were pretty pathetic on that one.
Well, I got lucky, but the most important thing is for them is to get back Evan Ingram. If they can get back Evan Ingram, it's a fight because they do have the two threats out there at wide receiver. They also have a really good tight end and a great back in Barkley. And they found something in Chad Wheeler replacing Eric Flowers, who was just recently cut by the Giants. So the offense should be fine. It's going to be up to Eli to really manage the game and be able to push the football vertically downfield to Odell Beckham while also being able to take some of the pressure off the offensive line by getting rid of the ball quickly.
Well, we had just mentioned a couple minutes ago, if they're 22nd in total offense right now, I mean, what do you attribute to them not being able to get going so far, especially with this 1-4 start?
To be honest, a lot of it has to do with Eli Manning and his ability or inability to get away from pressure. I think that's been the biggest key. It's funny because Ben McAdoo tried to tell the folks last year that, hey, this may be a potential problem, and he put Geno Smith in there, but then the beat writers went ahead and eviscerated him when Geno Smith actually played well in that game against the Raiders and was able to do things that Eli couldn't, which was get out the way, create plays on the move, and get outside the pocket. So because the beat writers went ahead and did what they did, they put Eli back in the lineup, even though these are the same people that was just killing Eli the week before he got benched. And now this year we're seeing the same issues again that we saw last season. And you put anybody else with a little bit of mobility behind this offensive line with these weapons, and this offense could do great things. So it makes you look at Eli like, hey, maybe he really is a problem. But the funny part is McAdoo tried to tell folks that last year, but they ended up running him out of town.
Yeah, Emory. Quick question for you, Tom here. Eli's arm strength. Is it lessened? Is it not as good? Is not as much zip on the football as in years past? Accuracy issues? Any of these things that you see up there besides obviously not being able to move in the pocket and being a statue? Anything accuracy-wise and arm strength that's not there anymore?
I think, and I'll put it to you this way, and not saying I'm an NFL-type talent, but I'm 37 years old, and I played against Eli Manning in high school. So we're the same age, and I only know what it's like for me to go out there and try to sprint right now. So I can only imagine with him having all those years of games in the NFL and his body wearing down because he's 37. And watching him in camp, you start to notice some deep balls start to flutter a little bit. That's probably why he doesn't want to push it downfield like it is because, again, he's 37. So you expect that to happen. And it's unique to see because, again, we are the same age and graduate the same class and things of that nature. But watching him throw, you could tell the ball just doesn't have the same pop on it. And probably that's why he's avoiding going deep like he was earlier in his career. But anything from short to intermediate, he still has some good velocity on it. But he doesn't even have the same athleticism to evade pressure at times. Like what he did against the Patriots in the Super Bowl with the David Tyree play, I don't think he can do that now. You know, the way he was able to shake off a tackler and throw a ball downfield, he can't make that play now because he doesn't have, he's older and his body is showing his age.
Now, Emory, I was going to say, you're probably having more fun on Sundays these days than Eli is.
Exactly.
Now, if you're talking about the Eagles, would your game plan be more of press coverage on these wideouts and make him try to beat you deep?
Yeah, the thing with the Eagles, they have the perfect recipe. They're really aggressive within their front seven. Their defensive line is able to stay active. They do a great job of collapsing the pocket around the QB. We saw that last week against Minnesota. So they could just go out there and just play their defense and really put a lot of pressure on Eli Manning. And what the Giants would have to do to combat that pressure is run the football. Can they lean more on Saquon Barkley and less on Eli Manning in this game? That's going to be the key because the Eagles have the formula to be successful even with their base defense.
Well, it's interesting that you said that because, down here in Philly, the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of shots taken at the secondary, specifically Jalen Mills, that coverage has been soft. They're playing 8 to 10 yards off of the wide receivers, and we all know that if you give Odell and Sterling Shepard 8 to 10 yards of a cushion, Eli can pick you apart, or can he, based on what you were saying earlier?
Well, I think it's 6 one way, a half dozen another when you look at it because, you can have the quick dump-offs if guys are playing off, but then that just puts the onus on the cornerbacks to run up and make tackles. Now, if you try to hit this guy with the move, does Eli Manning have the confidence and the comfort to throw the ball deep down the field? That's going to be the key. So I think for Philly in this game, the way Eli has been so focused on the line of scrimmage and making sure he has pressure, if he doesn't have that, or if that's the part that seems to get carried away, then that's the part that he's going to focus on, and that's where he's going to struggle.
Emory, I got a question for you. This is Greg. You mentioned Evan Ingram earlier. I was actually shocked to see that he was a possible go for the game tomorrow. He has been ruled out, but what is what's his diagnosis and what does his realistic return look like?
You know what's, and this is a great question because I've had an MCL sprain before, and it really is up to the individual player. It's a week-to-week thing. You know, some weeks you may feel like, okay, this is great. I can, make some cuts on my leg like nothing happened, and then other weeks you just kind of feel as though, man, I can only run straight. So it really is up to him. I'm glad they were able to keep him out when he injured it and not pushing to go out there and play right away. So if he's healthy enough to go and still can be Evan Ingram, then that's huge for the Giants. But I still think it's a wait-and-see approach because, again, the MCL sprain and the PCL sprain is really about comfort, getting the swelling down, and seeing what you can do laterally as far as like being playing with your position and on your natural movements.
Now, Emory, it's Mike again. One of the things that I've noticed, though, with the Giants since he's been injured is less tight end out in the pattern and more tight end staying in the block. And it's been interesting because I feel like it's helped Saquon and it's helped Odell. But when Ingram comes back, you're not going to have him on the line blocking. You're going to want to use him as a weapon. So how do you, if you're the Giants, how do you achieve that balance when he does get back?
Well, you have to really, find ways to get. I think their personnel is two receivers, two tight ends, and a back. That's their ideal personnel because they don't really have a third receiver. I know they have Cody Latimer, but I think from a receiver perspective, Ingram is better than Latimer.
Right.
So you want to get that extra tight end in there, and that could be Rhett Ellison. So that way you get two tight ends on the field, you get two receivers on the field, and one tailback. I think that's how they can maximize their personnel. But they also got to find ways to get Saquon Barkley rolling. They can't treat him like a third down back if they want to be successful.
So I know, Emory, I know we were talking Eli earlier. Is the future quarterback of the New York Giants on this roster?
It depends. I know Webb wasn't their guy, so that's why they were more willing to let him go. They drafted Kyle Lauletta out of Richmond. So that's a guy that they specifically targeted and wanted. Now, whether he is their number one, their potential number one, or just a solid number two, that's still yet to be seen. But it shows that they believe in the guy that they drafted, let alone a guy that they took in the fourth round. The same round they took the Giants as an organization took Davis Webb, and they allowed him to walk. Being here on the team, I thought this was a guy that was going to end up being on the team because they gave him a lot of reps, more so than Lauletta, but they made a surprise move in cutting Webb. So obviously they feel strongly about Lauletta. What I like about Lauletta is a lot of what Eli doesn't do is that Lauletta is athletic. He can get out on the move. He can throw on the run. He's a lot like Case Keenum in that regard. We saw Sherman have success with Keenum in Minnesota last year. So maybe that's their guy for the interim until they find the quote-unquote franchise guy. But they definitely believe in Kyle Lauletta, and they like him a lot.
Piggybacking on that, obviously they take Saquon too. And not that you ever going to regret taking such a talent of that, but do you think there's any second guessing in not going QB at 2 or even trading out of it to get, more picks if you weren't going QB?
There's no downside in taking good players. It's funny because people bring that up when they talk about, the Giants should have taken this lineman and, Quentin Nelson should have been number 1 overall, number 2, blah, blah, blah. Well, he hasn't been the highest graded. Now, I don't put all the emphasis in Pro Football Focus or put a lot of stock in what they say because it's all opinion-based. But the fact that Quentin Nelson couldn't even outgrade guys like Damon Harrison or the guy that's on the Giants roster in Pro from UTEP, Will Hernandez. So that shows you that the Giants made the right move in taking Saquon Barkley. I'm always of the mindset of getting guys based off this. Can you score? Can you take the ball away? I think ideally for the Giants, and maybe this would have worked out for them, grab Saquon Barkley at 2, and the way the draft was going, Lamar Jackson would have fell to them with that second pick in the second round, and they would have got their cake and would have been able to eat it too, in my opinion, with the best quarterback in the draft in Lamar Jackson, along with the best running back in the draft in Saquon Barkley. Because you look at all these other quarterbacks, if they're not going to bench Eli, then none of these dudes would have been on the field anyway. So it would have been a waste of pick at number 2. Get a dude that can help you early, because whoever's going to step in there has Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham, Evan Ingram, and Will Hernandez as a guard amongst an improving offensive line. So whoever's going to step in there next has an offense ready to go.
Oh, that is a bold statement, my friend, because the gentleman sitting to my right may be the biggest Baker Mayfield fan that I know, and I think he's going to argue with you that Lamar Jackson was not the best quarterback in that draft.
If you want to say second, I'll go with you there, though. I'll meet you in the middle, Emory. Definitely. I'm a Baker guy. I'm a guy that's he's got tons of mocks. You can see the winner, how being a winner already is translated to that locker room in Cleveland as soon as he stepped on the football field. But LeVar's fits what the Giants want to do, though. When you talk about a guy who can get out of the pocket, make plays on the run, and then when you can get out of the pocket and extend plays, you're definitely going to find Odell open real soon. So.
I mean, with Baker Mayfield, you look at, to me, he's no different than Case Keenum or Jeff Garcia. I know everybody's caught up in the excitement of Baker Mayfield, but when you look at how he's playing, I mean, 58% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. My biggest concern was him taking sacks versus and holding the ball too long. I was out there at Browns camp for a couple of days, and that was one of the things that I noticed. Man, he's not getting rid of the football. And in a real game, this would have been a sack. And already in 2 starts, he has 8 sacks already and 3 interceptions. And only completing close to 60% of his passes. But for me, when you look at Lamar Jackson and being that guy that definitely makes it at 11 on 11 games, when you combine that with Saquon Barkley in the backfield and the Odell Beckham on the outside, that's a pretty explosive offense, because that safety is going to have to worry about Jackson and less about the receivers, which means Beckham is going to see a lot more one-on-one. So it's interesting to see, but I'm glad Baker has found some semblance of success out there in Cleveland. If they had a kicker, they'd probably be 5-0. But that goes to show you it's not necessarily Baker Mayfield or Tyrod Taylor. That defense is a top 5 defense, and offensively they got a running game, and you don't really lose much with Baker or Tyrod. So they've been in every ball game, and this was a team last year that should have won 6 games had they had breaks go their way. So they weren't a bad team despite going 0-16, but at least they're starting to find ways to close out games and be better.
Now, do you believe Lamar Jackson can throw the ball enough in this league, Emory? Do you believe he has that ability? I mean, I know he definitely got better from junior year to senior year, the ability to throw the ball on the run and in the pocket. But do you believe he has the ability to consistently make throws at the NFL level?
Why not? You just saw him do it at Louisville, and you just said that he got better from his junior to senior year. And if you go back to his sophomore year, he got markedly better from that to his junior year, and markedly better from his junior to his senior. I mean, from his freshman to sophomore to junior. And the trip part is, from a efficiency standpoint, he was much better as a junior than he was as a sophomore when he won the Heisman. And the funny part is, when you look at a guy like Michael Vick, when he came out of Virginia Tech, Vick probably only threw maybe 12 to 14 passes a game, had like 51% completion percentage. and had a ton of potential, and you just saw like the potential, but you didn't see the polish. With Lamar Jackson, you saw the potential and the polish. He was a much better version of Michael Vick, playing in the Petrino offense, and what we didn't see in the NFL was Petrino with Vick, because Vick went to jail that year Petrino took the job. Well, we saw what that would look like at Louisville with Lamar Jackson and Petrino playing in that pro-style offense. So that's why I felt strongly that Lamar Jackson was tailor-made to start right now in the NFL, but he landed in a good situation where he's in Baltimore, where they're going to have an offensive line. They got 2 excellent tight ends. They got receivers, and they have a great defense to give him the ball back once he gets in there and makes it happen. So all guys, I think, landed where they probably should have gone. But if it was me, because I like offense, I would have taken Saquon Barkley number 1 and Lamar Jackson number 4 if I was Cleveland, and roll with it that way.
No, that's fair. Yeah. That's absolutely fair. So before we let you go, Emory, we got to ask you, do you have a pick for us for tomorrow night, Eagles-Giants? What do you think?
This is going to be an interesting game because the Eagles have the biggest they still have a hole at what I thought they had a hole at last year. And last year they were better there, but it's the running back position. I think they got rid of LeGarrette Blount too early. He was a better back. I never was a fan of Jay Ajayi because of his chronic knee issues that plagued him at Boise State.
We just ripped him up quite a bit before you called in too. So we're definitely on your side there.
Yeah, so I think the running game is a big issue, but the big X factor is whether or not Eli Manning can defeat pressure. To me, Carson Wentz actually looked better last week in a loss. I think one of his more impressive plays was I want to say it was 3rd and 20, where he threw a strike to Alshon Jeffrey. He caught it, but got hit in the back and dropped it. Mm-hmm. That was a key play, but that shows his willingness to stretch the field and push the ball downfield and try to pick up 20 yards instead of trying to get half here and the other half on another down. I think Carson Wentz right now is better than Eli. Their defense is better than the Giants. I think they win this ball game.
Score prediction?
It's a divisional game, so it's going to be close. I'd say 21-17 Eagles.
All right. It's about, yeah.
It's usually how them dog fights go.
I was going to say divisional game, NFC East slugfest on a Thursday night. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's how it works there.
Cool. So, Emory, you want to tell everybody what you have going on right now and where we can find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at FBall Gameplan. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We get all kind of updated content that's coming down the pipe, college and NFL previews, coaching interviews at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Bookmark the website, footballgameplan.com.
Awesome. Guys, got anything else for our guy?
Yeah, I just got one more. I'm going to switch gears real fast to the Jets. Is Sam Darnold their guy?
I think he is. With Darnold, to me, I compared Darnold at USC to Tony Romo, and that's both the good and the bad. He's athletic. He can get himself out of trouble. He can create wild plays, but he's madly inconsistent. And the good part for Darnold is that he's young. So at some point he's going to grow out these mistakes. And we saw him. I mean, you saw it all in one game in Detroit. First play, throw a pick six, and then come back and throw a touchdown. And and even in that game, everybody already fitted him for a Hall of Fame jacket. But when you look at that game, he really didn't play all that well. And then he didn't play well the next 2 games. And this past game against Denver, outside of the 3 deep ball touchdown passes, he couldn't hit anything else short. So the 3 touchdowns look great, and that's all you want. But when you look at the game from a box score standpoint, you're like, wow, he completed 40% of his passes. So, but I do believe Darnold is a guy. You know one thing about him, he's not afraid of pressure. And he has the athleticism. He's the youngest quarterback in the league. He'll get it, and he'll do fine. He's better than Josh Allen, I'll tell you that.
I don't think you're getting any
no argument.
No argument out of us, yeah.
No argument at all. Emory, thanks for jumping on with us. Quick question. Are you still doing stuff with, let me get this name right. Are you still doing stuff with Sportsline? Did I get that name right?
Yeah, I do. I still have, matter of fact, I have 2 early morning hits that I do on Thursday morning with Cannell and Bell and Friday morning with George on CBS Sportsline, CBS Sports HQ, and also Sportsline. So you can follow my work there on sportsline.com. CBS Sports HQ, make sure you check that out. And also do fantasy football stuff with The Athletic, 2 weekly columns that I put out. So be sure to check that out as well on theathletic.com/fantasy football.
I told you.
You weren't lying.
I told you guys he was the busiest man in football.
Man, I don't know how you find time for anything. I have enough trouble just watching sports.
And, oh, by the way, he called the game that I worked Saturday night at Morgan State. So
Yeah, nonstop.
he's everywhere.
Nonstop.
He's everywhere.
Keep up the grind, Emory. Keep up the grind.
Well, I appreciate you guys, man. I really enjoy what you guys got going on. It's a great group, great questions, and look forward to being on, sometime in the future.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you back later on in the season, Emory.
Emory, thanks for taking the time out to join us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks,
You too.
Emory.
Thanks, Emory.
Hey, everybody, that's Emory Hunt. All right, and you can find him, the czar of the Playbook, covers the Giants and Jets, and also is the founder of Football Gameplan and everything, right? I mean, I think it's safe to say everything. Find Emory Hunt on Twitter.
He's got a lot of coals and a lot of fires.
Yeah. And listen, and there's going to be the way sports are, but I agreed with everything up to Lamar Jackson. Everything up to Lamar. I couldn't agree there that that's the best quarterback in that draft. We're really, you're talking about a guy who completed 70% of his balls for 4 straight years in college at a D1 school compared to a guy who played at Louisville. Like, to me, Baker, the intangibles is what's going to make Baker. The intangibles from day one of Baker, to me, has always made Baker Mayfield. It's the want to. It's the want to work harder than the next guy because you need to. And I think that stuff has helped Cleveland. Now, we all knew, like you said, that's a great defense over there. We knew that. We knew they were physical up front. Enough picks. You better be good on that side of the football.
Yeah, right.
And they are. But you could see the difference, not only at a spark as soon as he walked into that game, but just the next week, the week, you know what I mean? Just the offense is better. They can move the football. Now, again, he's going to go through what a lot of rookies go through, ups and downs, and good and bad. But
I'll side with him on a second.
Lamar's extra is intriguing as shit. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's questioning that. Like, the things he can do on the run, all that kind of stuff, definitely intriguing.
But in his mind, he going Saquon 1. Baker could have gone 2 to the Giants. Darnold go 3 to the Jets, and then he's back at 4. He ain't taking Allen. He's not taking Rosen. He's taking who he thinks is his best guy.
And I like his little spin.
Yeah.
We were doing that.
We
were
same
spinning
thing.
like, well, they can do this. Maybe they can do this. Maybe they can do this.
Well,
and if that's your guy, that's your guy.
You're
but the athleticism is
it is off the charts.
My whole concern.
When he brought up the Michael Vick was in jail and Bobby Petrino was at Atlanta,
yeah.
my head spun like, oh my goodness, could you imagine what that would have looked like?
If Michael wanted to take time and go over a playbook.
And I'm not a Bobby Petrino fan. I think he's
DVDs
an
in the car.
absolute crumb. Especially
yeah.
how he ended in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But
He just didn't come back one
he
week.
just,
It
he
was
just
so
didn't
weird.
show up.
It's like, yeah, I'm out.
It's like
George-
And like 2 days later, he got a job at a college. Like,
it's like
oh
half
my-
the people.
But
I
I think
employ.
Lamar, like Emory said, is in the perfect situation to develop more. Because, I did see a guy who got better in the pocket. And I told guys, when we would talk about quarterbacks, the guy that I thought got better from his junior year to senior throwing the football.
Right.
Now, that's all well and good at Louisville. Can you make them throws right away in the pros? I don't know, but that extra year of seasoning and behind a guy like Joe, who is a pass-first guy.
Who can make those throws.
And can make them throws. You would assume that's going to rub off if the kid wants to learn.
Well,
But
you think
that's interesting because imagine if the Browns went that is electric on paper.
But
He's not wrong there. Definitely electric.
It's interesting, though, because I wanted to follow up, and I should have. if let's just say
Mike thought I was going to blow a gasket.
I
Like,
did.
I don't respect our guests.
No.
Let's go.
No, I know you have the utmost respect for our guests, but I think in your head you were blowing a gasket.
For a minute or two, I'm like, I want to argue.
No, but
Like, it's on the phone. You can't argue on the phone. You got to argue face to face.
But
you can't argue on the phone.
I wanted to follow up with that though, but like let's just say for argument's sake, let's say Flacco gets injured and he's going to miss 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Are they going to RG3 or are they going to Lamar?
That's a great question.
Lamar. They would go to Lamar.
I think they would go to Lamar. I mean, you put that stock in him, and he's already on the football field at time for
But I wonder if they wouldn't go to RG3 and keep Lamar in his role and just start expanding it like little by
I think
little.
it would depend on where they're at, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, where
if
they're
they're
at.
in it, if they're in it, maybe they do. But it's interesting. You think Joe is in the quarterback meeting with RG3 and Lamar and go, if I had an eighth of their athletic ability.
Yeah.
But now, first off, shout out to our man on the other side of the glass, Rob Poe, for getting that sound worked out at the beginning of the call. Great
Well
stuff,
done,
Robbie.
like always.
And
Wouldn't
just
expect anything less.
for the
And
fam.
if there was, I would just say, hey, there's the door. No.
But for the fam, interesting backstory on Emory when he said that, he's 37. He played high school football against Eli Manning. There's no bullshit there. He is from New Orleans, played high school football in New Orleans against Eli, went to Louisiana Lafayette where he was a running back, was actually displaced by Hurricane Katrina back in the day, wound up living with a teammate in Mississippi for a while, and then just basically took whatever he had left, moved up to New Jersey, started his own company with his own, his own money, his own bare hands, so to speak, and has just basically built what I call a football empire. but he is legitimately the busiest man in football. He will cover everything from Division III through NFL all over the place in a given weekend. He's unbelievable, and great stuff by him too.
Yeah, you weren't lying. He's everywhere, and you can get his picks and all that. All that's good stuff.
I'm trying to get a pick, but he didn't really plug it enough to
You know
dive
what?
into it.
We set that up for next time, though. I'll tell him next time he comes
The
on.
degenerate in me wanted a free pick 'em.
We want to pick.
I wanted a winner. I wanted a winner.
Yeah, I wanted like 5 of them. I mean, how many do you want to give out? Like a buffet. You know what I mean? You call in, just keep throwing them. Right, there's none. Write them down. Hold on.
I don't care. It could have been college.
It could have been
the college Friday
Dude, it
night
could have been
play.
Hawaii, like playing at 12 a.m. Like
I love that. I love chasing Hawaii. Hawaii minus 35.
Overs in Hawaii.
Hawaii over 96. Book it.
Pop Mondes says you're not alone, Tom. Mayfield, the next Drew Brees.
Ooh, it's high praise. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that's
70,000 yards.
Ralphie D says the king is here. Of course,
shut up, Crumb, Lil Ralpho.
Hey, Danny, do you know how long that is in miles? It's ridiculous. He's thrown for over 40,000 or 40 miles in his career. That's insane.
Andy Ritter, I got the Eagles 21-17.
Attaboy.
Eagles can't lose their first divisional game, especially a lackluster Giants. Spot on, brother. GMB Campo, love the show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
sir.
Katie Rivas, great stuff tonight, guy. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks,
Ryan
Katie.
Berto, great interview, boys. Appreciate it, Rye. And
Brodo.
Dawn Ormsby saying good stuff. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Mama. Love when Mama chimes in. And
It's what we call playing to our strengths, fam. We get the guests, we interview them, we know what we're doing.
So to a poll question, you're just joining us. Thursday night star of the game will be Carson Wentz, Jalen Mills, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley. You can let us know Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We'll talk a little. We talked a little Eagles hangover earlier on in the show.
Yep.
We'll have Eagles Giants preview continuing throughout the show, as well as later on thoughts and predictions of this game. Offense, defense, players of the game, score, your chance to win, some fuzzles. We used to do Visa gift cards. It's 2018. Everybody's got Venmo. We can Venmo right to the account, okay? But you got to screenshot and send me your picks, or you don't win shit. Because I'm not going through 200-plus comments to say, oh, look at Spidey. Spidey, 21-17. No, it's not how it works. And you need an offensive defensive player again because of the tiebreakers. That's everybody can pick the same goddamn score. Then I'm dishing out
Emory took 21-17, so everybody's going to take the same goddamn score.
What's Wells say? Brian Wells says he's thrown from Tom's house to Atlantic City. Who's he talking about? He's thrown.
Right.
A stone's throw from Tom's house.
I don't
to
know what he
Atlantic
was
City?
saying. I don't know.
Maybe he's
Come back in, Wells.
like the fantasy buddy. He might be on his way to AC.
There you go.
Maybe, I don't know.
Throw them dice, baby.
That sounds like good reasoning.
Roll them bone, baby.
Over on YouTube.
You're talking from the other side of the glass, so hey.
They're just talking about tons of stuff. Blunt greater than Sproles. Well, anything's greater than a guy who hasn't been on the field but one game. You know what I mean? So, remember something. And I was thinking of this earlier. Look, Garrett Blunt's averaging 2 yards a carry in Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, let's be careful, right? On an aging back, right? That he's the missing piece here because of injuries. You know what I mean? I get it. We've been banged up. This whole core running back's been banged up all year. You never seen stuff like this on one core besides the Giants wide receiving core last year.
Oh, look,
what are you going to, you can't be like, it's because Garrett's not here. This is why we're struggling on different things.
Well, here's where I'm going to eat some crow. Because I said to you before the season, when they didn't re-sign him, I said no major loss. And if you look at his stat line from last week, what was it, 4 carries for 6 yards, 2 touchdowns? He ain't fumbling the ball on the 7-yard line.
No, that's true.
That's for damn sure.
That's true, and I'm not against him coming back.
He took that thing like a loaf of bread and said, "I'm going home."
But I think if Sproles is healthy, we wouldn't be so much wanting Garrett back.
Yeah,
you saw that week one.
That's true.
Like offensively, Darren Sproles won week 1 for us. Okay, go back and watch the game. There were some plays that he was short of first downs and does what Darren does and found ways to get there. Just because he's small, I think he's a great goal line back because he is small and he can hide behind guys. Now, a bell cow back, absolutely not. But a guy to come in a shotgun and be able to sneak one in, absolutely. So that's a huge loss. And I don't think we'd be begging for everything else if he was healthy to what we thought he was.
Sure.
Or at least week 1 where he was making enough plays.
Phenomenal point.
At the same time.
Because right now we don't have anything. So everything's good. Like everybody, any running back name you say out there, you're like, Jamal Charles is out of fucking football. Okay, he's out of goddamn football. He's out of the Jags and everybody. And then you see people coming out of the woodwork like, come on, Howie. Come on, I've seen these idiots.
No, those people were ridiculous.
I've seen them, but every name, with all due respect.
And he did what with Denver last
Chucks,
year?
I love you, Chucks. Spencer Ware, knock it off, okay? Not good enough. If you're going to go out and get a back, go give me a back then. You're like, I don't need Band-Aid backs. You got to do something similar to what Jay Ajayi was.
No, I will completely disagree with you on that. Because I guarantee you if Kansas City didn't have Kareem Hunt, Spencer Ware would be doing 90 and a touchdown every game.
That's fine, but you think you're just going to go out and my point is you got to look on a similar situation to what Jay Ajayi was in Miami. That's where you have to look. You have to look at a situation like that where the team's either out of it, they're trying to change some things up, there's money on the books, that's decent money that
you're not going to price Spencer Ware away because if Kareem Hunt gets hurt, Andy's going to want him.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a bad guy, a bad teammate or anything, or any of that kind of stuff. So you have to find a similar situation. Now, I don't know who that is, but you don't need a star back in this league to win. We talked about that. We talked about that last Wednesday, I believe, that, star backs don't win shit in this league. But good ones do. That doesn't mean you don't need to go get somebody. But, the Le'Veon Bell to me isn't going to go win us a championship, and the money you're going to put into him, to me, does he maybe – I don't know. I mean, it's a great pickup, and on paper it looks good and everything like that. But there's other guys out there that you can get for less of value.
See, I got 3 names.
And still be impactful enough.
I got 3 names. When you say it that way, I got 3 names for you. One of them you will never get because it's in division. That's Rod Smith from Dallas. If you put him in a starting role, the same way you were doing with Ajayi, where he was a starter, but you were only looking to get 13 to 15 carries a game out of him, I think he'd be fine. 2 other names, Carlos Hyde.
Oh, that's my guy.
And Bilal Powell.
Well, Cleveland's got a bunch of backs.
And
so
that's why I think Hyde is expendable, because they could very easily go to Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson and say goodbye to Carlos and his money. And then in New York, I mean, Bilal Powell is basically the 1A to Isaiah Crowell, but for the right price, they'd part with him.
Listen, I'll tell you who. I mean, to fix that the poll question earlier, I think I know who it's going to be if there is a move made for a back. It's going to be Shady McCoy in Buffalo. It's going to be a situation where you're going to take that money off of their hands. That's a situation. You don't clear $6.5 million in cap space for this season, right? You don't restructure that right now if something isn't intimate. right? Or something that's not close. Now, Rye says, what do you think of Tevin Coleman from Atlanta? But my thing is, why would they want to give him up?
They're not. Because Devontae Booker's out again this week.
So, like, to me, that's a great name, and I'll take Tevin Coleman, but I just don't see that's not realistic of them giving him up. Yeah. Realistic is Buffalo saying.
It's the same thing with Jordan Howard in Chicago. Why the Bears are playing the best football they have in years? Why would they just suddenly trade?
And bro, Danny, he's on a rookie
I know,
deal,
and he's 20. He's 24 years. Like, I hate that. Oh, go get Jordan Howard.
They're not going to trade him. It's not that easy. You look at Arizona. Okay, they just gave David Johnson a lot of money.
Right.
Okay, they stink. Right. You could go pry that. That's a pryable situation.
Right, but there's a situation there, though, that a lot of people aren't aware of. And one of the reasons that they stink or that he stinks this year is apparently this new coaching staff and the offense, they're not catering to him the way Bruce Arians and the offensive staff did there last year and in years past. And they're saying that David Johnson actually isn't picking up the playbook. And these coaches are in love with Chase Edmonds because he's so damn smart.
Go get him.
So if you could go get David Johnson.
I like dummies.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But if you could go get David Johnson on what it would be very much a team-friendly deal, and you could just basically have him learn a quarter of the playbook for this season, go get him. Yeah, absolutely go get him.
I'm just so stuck on not because this is the guy I want. This is just what I believe, and I tell you this.
It's a Howie move.
But bigger than that. You got to understand the offense being played here. And you're just going to go get a guy to pick up the West Coast offense like that isn't easy with blitz packages and all them kinds of things. You got to go get somebody who's similar with the style of offense. And like you said, typical Howie, but this is a way where Buffalo doesn't want that money. They don't want that money on their books.
No.
And to say that
I don't want that money on their books.
Me either, but to say that they turned down or they wanted a 2 or 3 is a joke. Like, no, they didn't. Okay, whoever
because they asked for that doesn't mean what they're getting.
But that's who I think it's going to be with
by who
this time
reported
next
that. It was the Jabron on the dial.
Yeah, I don't know who reported. I just heard it.
I'm using the term Jabron because Jabron is Italian and he's on the dial. That should tell you exactly who it is.
So yeah, I know.
There's a lot of Italians.
I just don't believe the 2 or 3. I don't believe the 2 or 3, but I do believe he'll be an Eagle this time next week.
The issue that I have, like getting back to like the Blunt not re-signing.
You want to get back to the Blunt?
What?
Huh?
I would definitely want him or me.
I don't know what you said to me. You looked me in the eye, said something, and then I didn't hear what the hell you just said to me.
No, I said it's a done deal. I think it's a done deal. I think he's here this time next week.
It was just like you got cheap. You know, you got cheap and you put all your eggs in a Darren Sproles, 36-year-old coming back off of 7 injuries in 1.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And kind of like they did with the offensive line because they didn't upgrade the offensive line. Again, you put your hopes and dreams in a 36-year-old coming back, you know, a very large man, and he's a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. But in Jason Peters, coming back off an ACL injury, you know, again, what did you expect was going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, and this is kind of where like the whole thing circles back to like Howie and like, dude, yes, I love Jason Peters. I was stoked he's back, but you're telling me we don't have anybody to take his spot? Like right now? Like, you know, Vitai's a turnstile and same thing with Sproles. Like, all right, yeah, you let Blunt go and now after all the restructuring, you could have made it work.
Well, I think they believe that they had 4 running backs. So
right, but I'm saying
you can play Monday morning quarterback with all goddamn day. Guys got hurt.
Right, but I'm saying like you put like your hopes and dreams on the running back position.
Guy. That's one guy.
Right, but
I don't think it's hopes and dreams. That's one of your 4 backs.
You put a lot. You put a lot of stock in Darren Sproles coming back over an ACL and MCL at 36.
How's it a lot of stock when he's your 3rd fucking back? How's it a lot of stock when you?
Because you single-handedly said he won the first game.
He did, but
you're right.
But that's
he played a lot. So he played a lot bigger role.
That's Ajayi hurt. Ajayi got hurt. Ajayi's been banged up.
So he played a lot bigger role.
But that's the issue.
He was the starter.
I didn't put him in a bigger role.
I didn't put him in there either.
Okay, but my point is Ajayi's been banged up.
Robbie, can you turn my volume down?
So that's how it's going to work then.
So
you can Monday morning quarterback it all day. They say you're putting stock in one guy and that.
But you know Ajayi's history. That's what I'm saying. Like you know Ajayi's history. You know Darren Sproles is coming back
all the way down.
Injury.
All the way down.
I don't disagree with you.
Like how did you not like address it in like a not? And I'm not trying to blunt, and I'm not saying it was a major thing, but like now looking back at it, you know, maybe $4 million for LeGarrette Blount isn't looking too bad right now.
Okay, I'll take my volume back.
No, I just think I don't think that makes a difference, and because somebody wasn't going to be here then. So who's it going to be then?
Wendell.
So you can't. Okay. So
I mean that's what we were doing anyway. You know what I mean? Wendell was the odd man out anyway. Because the
it's
three
not
guys,
about Wendell. Like, what were you doing? You were having them 4 backs. You were putting that kind of money in the 4 running backs.
Well, you're not playing Clement anything.
Okay, then 3. You're putting that kind of money in 3 backs.
Well, all right. So maybe you all from 3 instead of the 4. Like,
No,
he doubled up, and I understand why he went. But
no, I get all that, but to me, it's like then somebody wasn't going to be here.
all right.
You went and got Jay because Darren went down. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how it worked last year. So I think you're in the same similar situation.
Yeah, I just
it's where you have to go make
I just
a move.
think you overemphasized the fact that J.J. was going to stay healthy and Darren Sproles at 36 was coming back and going to stay healthy.
I didn't overemphasize.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying as an organization.
No,
they did.
yeah, I mean, but to say just like Sproles alone that you're putting your eggs in that basket, to me that's not a basket that I was like, okay, he's the end all be all here, because I was expecting Clement to get better and be healthy, and I was expecting Jay to be at least on the field enough. And when neither one were, then Sproles isn't too. Now it's like, oh shit,
yeah.
That's why we're having the conversation we're having, where
we're
but
arguing over nothing.
I don't know, but it's fun. But that's why I think McCoy is a guy that just, I don't say reasonable, but just makes sort of sense.
Oh, it absolutely makes sense for all the reasons you said. It's the typical Howie move, and that's why it's just sitting there, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, going back to Clintac. Like, you didn't get Machado, so you just Band-Aided everything. Like, go get me Machado. Go get me Machado.
Okay. I'll go get him.
Machado. Yeah. Well, we've been through that.
Yeah.
We've been through that. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back on the other side. Head over to YouTube. Head over to the site, fam. We'll keep the conversation rocking over there. We'll give our predictions in a few minutes here. Offensive, defensive player of the game, and a chance for you to win some fucking fuzzles. All right? We're here for the people. For the fan, by the fan, and Daddy's giving out money if you screenshot.
Dollar bill, y'all.
You got a screenshot there, you're not getting any goddamn money. That's sort of how it works.
Because Daddy's got some money coming in.
Thanks, Nitro Freak.
What was it? What happened when Nitro Freak? What did
He's
Kyle do?
paying you.
Yeah.
Daddy's got some money coming
the
in.
500 piece. Yeah, we talked about that. He said he'll get to me by the World Series, a man of his word. But literally, he's going to start paying for vacations. He keeps this up. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been losing a lot to Daddy.
All I know is there better be some pizza coming in here one night on you, Papa.
Oh, it's really on Kyle. Juice. Every week that goes by is a 10. You know what I mean? That's a lot of pies by the World Series. That's a lot of pies. So we'll continue the conversation. Head over to YouTube. Head over to the website. We'll continue answering your questions and all that fun stuff. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. This segment was brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, our certified public accountant.
Make them yours.
Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com, as well as our doc that you can find every Sunday calling in on Agree to Disagree, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, located in Princeton, Burlington, and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Real quick, big shout out to Jim Gibson and John Mayer for the offer for the Eagles game tomorrow night. Very much appreciated. Can't swing it, but this is how our sponsors take care of us. They want to take us to the birds. We would have gone, but, hey.
It's a hike.
Some of us got to work.
Nobody likes North Jersey.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the
I'm
other
not trying
side.
past Trenton.
Hi, folks. Bob Menery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make 'em yours.
Find them on the web, GibsonMayor.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Dan McGuckin, Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. The family out there joining this, they're flocking over on YouTube right now. Tons of comments. We'll get to you all over there.
I peeked over. I saw a Todd Gurley comment.
Well, it was about best running back in the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but we'll get to Shady McCoy in a minute here. We'll give her thoughts and predictions, offense, defensive players of the game, keys to the game, all that fun stuff, a chance for you to win a couple bucks. All you got to do is pick the score and give an offensive, defensive player of the game, screenshot it, send it over to A2D or myself, and we'll take care of you from there. A little Venmo right in the account. Never hurt nobody. We had Emory Hunt on, founder of Football Gameplan, and the Czar of the Playbook, covers the Giants and Jets up in New York there. He does everything. There's nothing that Emory doesn't do, what we learned tonight.
Oh.
The more you know.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
more you know. Eagles-Giants preview. We did that a little bit. We're going to continue it throughout the show. Eagles Super Bowl hangover. Discussed kissing babies, signing autographs. Still something that's a major concern here.
Yeah.
And what football team are you getting Thursday is what we'll talk about later on here. But our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find on the web, scanzanosports.com. Thursday night star of the game will be Carson Wentz, Jalen Mills, Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, or somebody else. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. ATD Radio is where you can find us, family. So, tons of YouTube comments. Want to get to Shady for a second. I know we touched on it before we went to break. But, even their coach is hinting towards Shady McCoy not being a Bill much longer, which, you look around the league, who's in desperate need of a running back? Well, really only one spot.
Yeah.
One spot around the league where, injuries have crushed their backfield, right? And it's here in Philadelphia. And like Greg said, typical Howie move. And listen, this is no crowning of LaShawn McCoy. But part of this is you got to get a guy who can play by next Sunday, and with a guy who's familiar with the West Coast offense, the tendencies, the, picking up blitz packages, stuff like that. Terminology. It's Shady McCoy out there. You have to look for fits. We talked about why Nick Foles was a fit last year when Carson went down, because if you're looking around backups around the league, who else would you want to have run the West Coast offense than a guy who's been around it essentially his whole career? You want a guy who's familiar with the terminology, the nuances of it, and all that fun stuff, and that's why you were able to be semi-successful offensively for the most part with Nick. So you got to look for a guy who can come in and pick it up right away. This is why I said it wasn't happening by Thursday that people out there that thought it was. This is going to be a bye week. So this move, to me, is done Friday. To me, Shady McCoy doesn't get on the field Sunday in Buffalo.
Doesn't play Sunday,
okay,
right.
because the reason he was sent over practice early today. Could that be legal issues? Could be. Could very well be that. Or it could be, that's it. Can't afford you getting hurt. We got a deal in place that's going to take.
We have a handshake agreement.
But you just said something there that was real interesting, was if you look at what happened with Michael Kendricks, and Seattle signed him,
right,
and they knew signing him, he may only be there a week or 2 or 3 before he either went to jail or got suspended by the NFL. Do you want to dabble in that shady pool knowing that there may be some legal problems coming his way?
I'll dabble in whatever pool there is right now. As much as I can.
Because you're a dabbler?
I completely agree with you, and you're right. And that could be something that's major, and a major hit to a running back core that's already been hit. And then you got the money on the books, the whole nine. Me, if everything says, I think Shady's done. Listen, I'm not saying he's not done. What I'm saying is everybody's done when Josh Allen's your quarterback, and it's the Buffalo Bills right now. Everybody's done. When Tyrod played last year, and the Tyrod's not good by any stretch, Shady balled when he played. He still had a little bit. You don't need – listen, this is the thing we're missing. The splash never wins a Super Bowl or any sport. It just doesn't. The splash at deadlines rarely win, okay? It's different in baseball. You go get an arm, like a Verlander. That kind of stuff will translate for you, right? You go get a bat, okay. But the splashes really never win in the NFL. We've seen it here. We've splashed all seasons where we had dream team talk, okay? It's never paid off. So it's got to be the move that's the middle-of-the-road move that some people are going to say, that's not a good one, and some people are going to say, that's a good one. That's the move that's going to work for you, in my opinion. And to bring life to a guy, some fresh air to a guy, that team that stinks right now, and to bring him to an organization that is first, the first team he ever played with, and all that kind of stuff, it might bring some life to a guy that can help him.
I was going to say,
help us.
I know it's a different sport, but you saw this year when Cole Hamels went to the Cubs and immediately just took off. I know we're not a winner and a runner 500, but coming back home, coming to a team that's coming off a Super Bowl win, I think that would certainly give McCoy a jolt.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and it's tough not to.
Right.
As you said, you're playing in Buffalo, where the greatest thing you have is Bills Mafia. You know what I mean? Because there's whatever's on the field isn't very good. And you have Nate, or whatever you call himself, Peterman, or Josh Allen throwing you the ball or handing you the ball. Yeah, there's going to be 8, 10, 12 guys in the box every time. So it's tough to create when you have those guys at quarterback.
Something I just want to run by you guys real quick. So last year in Week 14 against Indianapolis, Shady goes 32 for 156.
In the snow.
Okay.
He does
Since then, 20 for 50, 2.5 yards. 17 for 71, 4.2 yards. 11 for 10, less than a yard. That was finished out last year.
Good game.
So far this year, 7 for 22, 9 for 39, 5 for 24. And in this past week, 24 for 85, 3.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, and
Well,
I want to
he's not getting work, probably because of the fact that the Bills are just getting smoked most of the time. But when he is getting work, how effective has he been since that big 32-carry game?
And I bet you if you look deep into that 32-carry game, that was probably Tyrod's last game as a starter. Then they went to Nathan Peterman because they thought he was going to end the year.
Well, Peterman was San Diego last year.
Okay.
Or Chargers. No, that was week 11 last year. And Shady went 13 for 114 in that game.
Okay.
Big touchdown run in that first half. Yeah.
All right. So I was going with is you had no one at quarterback, so I thought those were the last few games to where,
they made the playoffs.
You're gonna, right. Tyrod came back and made the playoffs. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's where
I
I was wrong in exactly where that was. I was imagining that at the end of the year it was Peterman who they were trying to groom for the playoffs, and he was handing off to like 10-man boxes.
Yeah, I want to know how many grabs he catches.
10 catches for 65 yards so far this year.
All right, 6.5 yards a catch, and where everybody's up in the box. So I mean, I still think a little bit's there. Enough's there. He's not going to.
It's enough. It's not spectacular, but it's enough.
It's enough. It could be enough to help you. That's all. Help you enough. Another weapon out of the backfield. Just another weapon to have. And you hope to get Sproles back, and you have Corey and Wendell, and then you can add a Shady, and you're deeper now. You went from not being deep at all to maybe next Sunday having 4.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now you're looking at it completely differently. Look at it like this, people. Le'Veon Bell, it ain't the answer here. It's not Madden. He's a fucking crumb, and I want no parts of crumbs. Okay? I got enough guys calling coaches out when they can't hold on the fucking football. I don't need a guy who can't show up to a team that's supposed to be good, and the entire locker room is questioning why he's not here. Right? They all talked about it. Or at least enough of them did. Right? When everybody's best friend when it comes to everybody else's contract. Oh, let him get his money. It's a business. Fucking crop. Okay? And you got to sign him the big-time money. If you think that it's just a deal and it ain't a big-time extension, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. So if you want to tie that kind of money up into a running back situation where a guy's 27 years old and over a 4 to 5 year period, you owe him a ton of money when you got other guys that you still need to sign here, stop watching football because that's not going to win you anything. That's not going to win you shit. It's going to handcuff you to make your line stronger where you win at. What did we learn last year? Somebody tell me what the fuck we learned.
Magic happens.
Magic. Magic's a great thing.
It all starts up front.
It starts up front. Okay? If you're not putting your money into up front, which wins in this league, because you need to protect your quarterback, you need to get to the other team's quarterback, it's the basics. Le'Veon Bell is a pimp on the football field. I'm not taking anything away from that. What the hell does he want? Please, somebody, tell me what the Pittsburgh Steelers have won with all that explosiveness on offense. So don't tell me he's the only answer. Don't tell me it's got to be Le'Veon and nobody else to win, or he's going to get you over the top.
I don't think there's people out there that's only got to be. I just think he's the logical guy because he's not playing right now, and that's the hot button name.
But question for you.
You know what I mean?
How long does that take, though? Because you sign him right now, a guy who hasn't touched the football. You sign him right now. How long does it take him to get into game shape?
I think he's in game shape.
Or trade for him?
I think he's in game shape.
I will.
In game shape, Greg, or in shape? Because they're two totally different things.
We've seen over the years when he used to show up for week 1.
He was ready.
He was ready to go.
No, he's saying he's not going to be ready.
So I think he is in game shape. I think this is,
Well, I will tell you guys that there was talk around the NovaCare complex on Monday when the Jay Ajayi injury was announced that, quote-unquote, the deal is off. And the assumption was that the deal was Ajayi and a draft pick or two to Pittsburgh for Le'Veon. So it's interesting that the Ajayi injury has
God damn you, Jay.
has it's hurt them in multiple ways in the fact that they now don't have Ajayi and they don't have a trade piece.
I love this shit. I love how that's gonna creep out. Who broke that news? Who was that genius? I call lies with a side of lies. After
That's not anybody in the media.
Yeah, I find that so hard to believe that deal was a done deal.
I got a source.
And he's on the football field. And he's on the football field Sunday.
If
that's even close with a broken back and the Steelers are all in on that deal.
It wasn't.
I can't.
No, you're missing a point. It wasn't.
I saw the point. You told me Jay Ajayi and a draft pick for Le'Veon Bell with a guy with a broken back, and the Steelers are all in on that deal. That doesn't add up.
No,
to
that was the rumored deal.
It's rumored.
As soon as he blew his knee, the Steelers wouldn't even talk to him anymore. Which is obviously he's going on IR.
My point is, if you're that close to a deal, he don't step foot on a football field that Sunday with a back issue. He don't step nowhere near that deal. Yeah. Nowhere near that field. If that deal's even remotely close to getting done, because that's your main chip of the deal, right?
Without Sproles or Clement, and you got to win a game.
If that deal's that close,
and how do you know that Pittsburgh wasn't just like stringing them along anyway?
Well, that goes to my point. I don't think it was even close to happening. I'm not saying it was never conversated on. I don't think it was anywhere near close to happening. I think maybe beginning talks could happen because you heard Le'Veon's name in talks service, obviously. But for me to believe that deal was like real close to being done, if it was that close, he don't step forward.
No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I'm not an idiot.
It's not Major League Baseball. It's not Major League Baseball. You don't get pulled out of a game because there's trade rumors.
You don't?
No. You play 16 games. Every game is magnified times 10.
Okay.
No, you play the game.
Okay.
Now, today...
You have a deal set up for the best running back in football, but a guy with a broken back steps on your football field? Mike, it's not talking about an injured guy, so I'm not an idiot. It's talking about a guy who's banged up. So if he's a trade asset for you, he don't step foot on the football field.
But I'm not saying it was a done deal.
You just came on and said, my source said that it was close to being done. So close means it's about to be done, which means you don't step on the field. That's what you said. I'm going over what you said. So don't call me a fucking idiot. Don't call me an idiot.
I didn't call you a fucking idiot.
You just called me an idiot.
I didn't call you a fucking idiot.
You called me an idiot.
I didn't call you a fucking idiot.
You just called me an idiot.
And you're putting words in my mouth.
You called me an idiot. What came out? Idiot. You can't tell me that deal was close to happening.
I didn't tell you it was close to happening.
This is Madden.
What did I say?
Ralph,
What did I say?
Ralph,
play the tape back.
I will play it back. You said my source said that deal was close to happening.
No, I said that there were people at the NovaCare complex that said, well, deal's off. Deal's off means either the Steelers aren't talking to them anymore, or maybe there was something close to happening.
I never said
here's the thing.
There was never conversations. I said that I don't believe it was close to happening, and then I was called an idiot for believing it wasn't close to happening.
Nobody knows
because Jay wouldn't have played that game. That's all. He wouldn't have played it.
No, I called you an idiot because in the NFL,
I love you calling me an idiot.
You don't pull players off the field.
I love the idiot.
You don't play him on field. You don't pull him off the field.
You don't put him on it.
You want to send him home for practice, that's fine.
No,
you don't hold him out of the game.
You
don't hold a guy that can go out of the game.
You don't put him on the field because you just say he's banged up. You do not play. You know, it's a guy can't play.
Are you going to run Josh Adams out there?
They do anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like Josh Adams. But
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
It's been a while since we went out. I like it.
Have Nelly play running back.
Woo. Yeah, my blood pressure is going. This is the best.
For once, it wasn't me.
And in me of everything, this is the best. This is the best radio in the world, boys. That's what it's about. But I mean, yeah, obviously. Listen.
I've never heard Mike get that loud.
I haven't heard it in a long time
either. I'm mind blown right now, dude. I am mind blown. That is so fucking funny.
I haven't heard it in a long time.
Oh my God!
We get into it like that like twice a year.
Yeah,
it's good
fun.
shit.
It's fun. I missed you.
Funny
I missed you.
And it's usually over baseball too,
which you had to tie in there. Which I mean, yes, in baseball, you don't even you're pulled out of games early. I don't know. It doesn't smell like Howie. It doesn't. Like Le'Veon to me is like what Howie doesn't do. And that's why I just believe that, like, I don't, there might have been conversations because you always pick up the phone and talk to people. But, like, to believe Howie would give up, resources and draft picks and have to sign them.
That's a fair statement. It's absolutely fair. But, I mean,
but Jay's a weird situation because he's
just a weird dude.
He is a weird dude.
Big time.
He's British.
He talks weird. Let's just be
British.
Real.
Let's just call it what it is.
Let's just
British. They don't like ice.
He's playing the wrong football.
But
they don't like ice. Their beer's warm, and they don't like air conditioning. It's a fat guy's hell.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they don't like ice?
No, they don't have freezers in their fridge.
That's fucking weird.
Exactly. That's exactly the point.
Let me clarify, though. If Howie went out and made a move for Le'Veon, I'm not bitching and moaning about it. I just don't know how you tie.
Are we getting a 4-5 down?
You could. Because, obviously I'll be jacked the hell up about Le'Veon. I think everybody would.
Oh, I just think that's one of those.
Oh, I can't fucking wait, but he's a crumb. Oh, we're going to Broad Street.
He is a crumb.
Everybody's getting loud.
We're going to Broad Street. Oh, he's a crumb, though.
I don't like him.
It's not a Howie move, but we're going to Broad.
It's not a Howie move. It's not. That's good reenactment.
Look, Jay and Jai last
Broad talk. Can you run for me next time?
Jay and Jai last year wasn't a Howie move either.
No,
it did come out of nowhere.
It did because you weren't expecting because it was semi-splashy.
That came out of nowhere too. I remember sitting in class tripping ball
Were you tripping balls?
Were you tripping balls?
Yeah,
in class?
dude.
Remember the good old days?
It's like 5 minutes. Eagles are talking to the Dolphins. Literally, like 30 seconds later. Like it happened so quick. Usually, like the other trades, things will die down when they're like when it's like a whole 2-day period. Oh, they're still in talks. It happened out of nowhere. I was going crazy.
Todd Womack says I'm angry. I'm just throwing my chair. I'm trying not to cry right now because there's tears coming down my eyes. Dean said that's why you have to think about what it means. Whatever they trade him, whatever they trade him, they have to pay. I just lost it now because somebody else commented for what they owe to get out of his contract. I don't know what he's talking about on that one.
But see, here's the thing: if they're talking about Le'Veon Bell, I said this a couple of times. The longer he sits out, the less they have to pay. And the less the Steelers will get for him. So it doesn't – it's not – to your point, when you were earlier, you were talking about, clearing the $6.5 million, from Fletcher or whatever. That money, that's shady money. If you're looking to do Le'Veon, you got to clear a little bit of money, but you don't need to clear – nearly that much money now because especially now that he's
it's about like $2 million now.
Yeah, since you cleared the 6.5, it would fit in.
Yeah,
it would fit in, and you can carry the 6.5 in the next year, right? Can you carry?
Least to start.
You can carry it over to free agency? Is what I mean.
Well, here's an interesting.
The way they rescheduled or restructured Fletcher, he cleared 6.5 this year and 11 next year because they basically took base salary and gave it to him in the form of a bonus, which is guaranteed money for him, but only a portion of it counts on your cap. So,
which kind of lends to the whole David Johnson side of it, just because you now know because he just signed, you know what he's worth for this next couple years. But here's another interesting thing about this whole restructuring and freeing up money. Remember back to good old days? I say good old days.
Joe Banner.
He
was the master.
But remember when he would lock up these young guys a year or two before they're due?
You think it's Carson?
What if they lock up Carson now to, hey, we're going to pay you. You're going to get yours. But, a little bit more team-friendly of a deal than waiting to max them out. And then that way at least going into the offseason, hey, yes, I know we got to address the running back position. I know we got to do this. But at least we know that Carson is going to be 15, 16, 17. You know what I mean? We know what he's going to be heading forward.
Andy Ritter says this is much better than cable TV.
I think we would need to look into that because I think in theory you may be onto something, but I don't know if you can actually extend a guy on a rookie contract before the final year of the contract. So clearing the 6.5 this year, you could probably go anywhere with that.
Right.
The 11 next year, with that being Carson's last year, could come into play there. But that's an interesting point, and I would actually have to look into that a little deeper because
I mean, Joe Banner used to do it with everybody. I mean, he did it with
Right.
Reggie Brown. He did it with that second.
Reggie Brown.
Remember Reggie Brown?
yeah,
but he did it with that
I like
secondary with
Reggie.
like Sheldon and Lito.
yeah, Sheldon and Lito, and I mean, they had they had
Lito,
Troy.
Lito, my dog.
They had
Yeah.
Troy, but they were smart because they had Troy and Bobby, and they brought Lito and Sheldon into play behind them for 2 years, and then when they thought those guys were ready to take over, they extended them.
Yeah.
And then the other two got shipped out of town.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I will absolutely look into that because there's weird shit with rookie contracts in the NFL. Like I don't think you can just rip it up because a lot of it because you're getting paid based on your draft slot. I don't know how long you have to go into the contract before they can just tear it up and
the only
give
reason
give you more money.
And the only reason
But
I
it's
went there
but it's a great
is
observation.
because why else are you clearing $11 million next year?
Yeah.
Because you have to think.
It has a smell of something.
Yeah,
that
'cause
that contract coming in next year, whoever that may be.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at like Nick Foles and Chance Warmack, their guys are eating up $15 million this year. Well, that's off the books
Yep,
next
that comes
year.
off, yep.
So you're like, all right, well, so if you go into it, now you have $26 million.
You got a lot to play with.
You have
and
a lot
then
to
already
play
a
with.
cap that's going to expand, which you already know is going to expand. That does every year.
But it's like, why did you need $11 million today?
Yeah. That's
Why did you need $11 million today?
Because you need the 6.5 now.
That's
why,
Yeah,
but yeah,
right.
yeah.
But that,
I guess they're tied together.
Yeah,
Well,
so you're like,
that's
oh.
what
You
it
need the
is.
6.5 now
Well, let
and
me
made
throw
11
hypothetical.
next
it's
year.
one contract. So
Yeah.
it's like you said, you need the 6.5 this year. The 11 next year is just a byproduct of the restructure.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. So let me ask you this. If I give you names, what would you give up for them? Okay, so we'll start with Le'Veon, which is the fan favorite, the crowd favorite. What do you give up for Le'Veon? In the circle, everybody give theirs. I'm going to go through a couple backs.
Go ahead.
and
He's
some-
freaking out already. So
I
go
love it.
ahead.
I love it. We
No,
got him
there's
excited.
no
We got to get
reason.
the.
I get you're saying it's not how
You got to
you
get the little puppies barking. That's all.
If you give up a second, you got a third if he walks at the end of the year. Why not?
You have
With
2
the
seconds.
drop around, who cares?
So you give up a second for Le'Veon?
I mean, if it takes like second, like a fifth or whatever, but still, you still get a third back at the end of the year if he
I
walks.
think you at least got to go 2. I think it'll at least be 2-3, somewhere in that range.
2-4
The longer
maybe.
it goes, 2-4 maybe.
I like the premise of what you were discussing, like a Jai or a player.
Yeah.
And a pick, maybe 2. You know what I mean? So, if it costs me, I'm just going to throw Clement and a third, or Clement and a third and a fourth.
Let's be real, Corey's expendable. The
'Cause Corey's
second
expendable.
Le'Veon walks in the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's not there.
Which, yeah, they
You
all
know,
are.
and Pittsburgh's not dumb enough to take Wendell because he's not worth anything.
No.
And same thing with Darren. So if you're looking to replace a running back, and I'm not crowning Corey as being on the same level with Jay Ajayi.
No,
But if they were
close.
looking for a running back,
You mean you're not going to hit me with Glassboro bias?
I think he could have a pretty good year.
But I mean, okay. So if you go Clement, you go Clement and a 2. It's somewhere because you got to throw the 2 in. I mean, the 2.
Yeah, I think
if,
Clement-
if it's Clement, it's got to be a 2.
I think
2
the
and a 4?
Yeah, the 2. I mean, it'd be 2-4 and Clement.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Clement
yeah.
2 and a 4.
Yeah. I think that.
And I'd be okay with
I
that.
think that's close to getting it done. Real close. You got a difference on it. I mean, do you think a first needs to be put in play?
No,
I'm just wondering. I don't think either. But I'm just curious.
Beginning of the year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like week 1?
Or
Absolutely.
or
But you
trading camp, yeah.
Do you guys have any problem with just dishing, like Danny said, just dishing the extra 2 away? I mean, yeah, okay, you could say, well, why do you need 2 2s? Well, it's good to have 2 2s, but when you have a guy at this caliber, as much as my feelings for him don't translate to what he is on the football field. So I got to take feelings aside for a second, just look at the football player, right? So, you're getting a guy like this. Do you really need it too? Because you ain't getting the guy to this
Bryce
caliber
Love
at 2.
or whoever you're drafting the second
Isn't
round
gonna be Le'Veon.
isn't Le'Veon
Well,
Bell.
let's just say for argument's sake that deal that they were discussing at NovaCare was in fact a Jai and a 2 for Le'Veon, and now a Jai's hurt, and then they have 2 2s next year. Would I just say, you know what? Okay, fine. 2 2s. We'll give you both of our 2s for Bell. Would I do it? Yeah. I would do it because then what I would do is on draft day, I'd probably look to take one of the 3s, one of the 4s,
And move up to 2.
and like one of the 6s because they have a shit ton of picks next year and move up.
That's all.
So,
It's simple.
It's Howie Magic.
Team says 2nd, 4th, and a conditional 3rd. TDP says, you guys know who I want. Tevin Coleman. Ralphie D said the only way
Tevin Coleman's not going anywhere. Trust me on that one.
And Ralphie said Adele's going to have a field day on us tomorrow. I don't see that happening.
Not if you listen to Emory, because Eli's not getting the ball down the field.
Although I will say, Odell was one of the few wide receivers that could take a 6-yard slant to the house at any time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're right. Emory was spot
That's
on.
why I press.
Yeah.
That's why I press.
Emory was
We'll
spot
get into
on.
that.
Yeah. But Odell was one of those guys that he could take a 6-yard slant to the house at any time.
Mr. Lyon says only non-competitors should be in this conversation. Shady is more likely, but DJ is on the move. $24 million over 3.5. And that ties right into where the next one I was going with is David Johnson. Mm-hmm. Now, do you consider a 1? I mean, now for the money, the length of contract, do you consider a 1 for David Johnson? Knowing a 1 and a 5 is a done deal for that deal. You come barking with a 1 and a 5 or 1 and a 4, it's a done deal.
Because you're absolutely right. 1 to 4, 1 to 5, done. Because here's why, and I touched on it. You know what he's going to make. So now you could sit there and if you have to let Brandon Graham walk because Derek Barnett's now playing better. You have to restructure Malcolm. You know what I mean? You let Rodney walk. You know what I mean? Like now to where now these 11 picks turn into 9. 9 picks is still a lot of picks.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean?
He can't even sign 12 picks.
Here's the thing, though.
For David Johnson, because of his versatility, we saw in a competent offense his versatility. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball.
Yeah.
That's there. But I think what makes it so much not better than Le'Veon, because I don't think he is better than Le'Veon. He's close. But it's knowing what he's worth, his contract is worth next year, 2 years, 3 years down the line when you got to re-sign 11.
Yeah, and he's still young.
But to that end, I don't start with the 1.
No,
I go in there and I say
2 and a 4.
2 and a 5, because we're taking that salary off your books.
Right.
You know, and you know, if we give you a 1, you're going to have to pay him in whatever slot that turns out to be. 2 and a 5, you're going to have a lot of cap flexibility, you know, and you're getting 2 players from us, 2 and a 5. If they say no, then I go 1 and a 5. If they say no again, I go 1 and a 4. I don't know that I'd go 1 and 3.
That's a good. Sweep's got a great one. What's up, boys? Great show. The elephant in the room.
Sweeps.
Regarding Le'Veon, does he even want to play football anymore? Or is he even that much longer? He's commenting about faking an injury to avoid playing in the playoffs. Do you really think you, meaning Eagles, can fix his mentality once he gets paid? He might check out more than he already did, you know, with $14 million a year or whatever.
Well,
tied in.
That goes back to what I talked about a couple weeks ago. Is if you do take him, I only take him as a rental. I'm not looking to sign him long term.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get the money right, you know what I mean. I don't hate that at all. I mean, you're right. Perfect world. Thanks for 2 months.
Yep.
Adios. Let somebody else pay you. I mean, you know, if he's, I think I threw out there last night. If you know, because you know Carson's coming up and you don't want to tie that up, but you know you can make cap room. You know, I'm like, would you do, you know, 2 for $60 with 40 guaranteed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's you know,
Holy
a lot of
shit.
money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know if I pay a running back that kind of money.
You want to give him $30 million a year?
Right, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll sit that out. That's aggressive talk. Jesus, God. I don't even know what I just heard. What I just heard. I can't even say heard right. I said heard. I said heard. I said
Wait,
heard. It's a
you
fucking
want
mess.
to give Le'Veon Bell $30 million a year for 2 years?
I'm trying to entice him to stay.
Okay, well, I'll entice this to the next comment.
Okay.
Deem says Bell is apparently trying to set precedent to change the game for running backs. Hence the Mr. Milakovic's $30 million a year deal.
We talked about that a couple weeks
Well,
ago, too, and Greg was talking about the fact that just the precedent is that running backs don't get paid.
Yeah, and TTP says realistically my trade targets are Coleman, Howard, and Shady. I don't think Coleman's realistic because Atlanta doesn't want to give him up.
Howard's not realistic.
Howard
Not
to
with
me is not
Freeman.
realistic on a rookie
I
deal.
never understood
but
Howard.
Shady absolutely is realistic, and I think that's what's going to happen here in the next 4 or 5 days, or after Sunday, or if it even gets to Sunday. UTM channel chiming in saying hi.
Hi.
Who's your favorite player in the NFL? 11. TTP
12.
That guy.
the
TB
goat.
12. Yeah, the goat.
The goat.
That guy.
Where else are we at?
He was hanging that guy, but
All right, prediction time, boys. Prediction time. Offense, defense, player of the game. Chance for the family out there to win some money. Danny, want to get started, Daddy?
Start over there only because I got another name that I want to throw at you, but I want to make sure it's accurate.
Shoot, Danny boy. Let's go.
Oh, Danny boy.
I'll go 26-20. I can't think of my defensive player of the game.
Who's winning, first of all?
Eagles.
Okay.
Confirmation.
Fuck, I don't even know. Offense, I'll go Clement. I think he has a big game.
Danny goes, I don't know.
Defense, I don't know.
You have one job.
I really don't know where to go with this defense.
Well,
Yeah, I know. I hear
I'm with you on the defense.
No, it's tough. You got to go up front somewhere. I mean, you talked about it.
You talked about
Bennett. Bennett's pissed off from that
All right.
ticky-tack flag. I'll go Bennett.
By the way,
All right.
does Bennett wear shoulder pads?
Nah.
Is that like the weirdest thing ever?
He really looks like a weirdo.
Sweep said it's like he looks like he's on the fucking beach all the time.
He might be high. Who knows? I'm going. This is going to be a NFC East slugfest. I'm with Emory.
Of course you are.
In the score area. I'm going 2017
He's with them.
Giants.
He's with him on Lamar
Giants.
Jackson, too.
Yeah.
He's with him on Lamar Jackson, too.
No, I'm not
what a
with him on
bum.
Lamar Jackson. Stop it.
Of course he's picking the fucking Giants.
Odell
If he doesn't, he has to leave.
on the offense and making his debut, Olivier Vernon on the defense.
Throw up.
I'm going
to throw up.
You can throw up.
No, everything Wilson said. Like, if we lose, it's suicide talk.
Yeah.
I mean, the hotlines are
Friday
ringing.
morning is going to be rough.
Oh, and then you got to wait.
I might call
And then you
out
got to
of
wait
work
to get the taste
I
out.
might call out of work Friday.
I might just not show up anywhere. You will not see me Sunday here. That's a stone cold lock. And that'll be 2 Sundays in a row, no show because of that. All right? Don't you put that on me.
Ricky Bobby.
We need this. The Super Bowl ended. It's over. You know, and we went, like I said, I was soft for a couple weeks with the boys in green. I got a little soft over here. Everything's fucking peaches and cream. All right? Well, that ended. Okay? That went away.
Kind of the same thing.
That went away in Tennessee.
At the end of that Colts game, you were talking about the whole culture thing. At the end of that Colts game, my brother was all bitching the entire game, and I told him just relax. I was saying I told him after the game, like, yo, with Wentz is just like it's a ripple effect. Like we don't lose these games anymore. 2 weeks later,
2 weeks later, two straight losses.
Oh yeah, I'm not soft anymore.
Two-gun Tommy says Barnett back with a big game. Ty Wilmer says, but I do feel Howie might make 2 moves, one running back and another toss-up between wide receiver and safety. That's a lot. I don't know. Ryan Brodo, 30-27. Birds, what do you got, Mike?
To me, this is a team that sleptwalked through 4 weeks and blamed 2 losses on the fact that they were on the road. They lost a home game. Now they're pissed off. And you have guys in the media saying that they're actually happy to be playing a Thursday night game. Nobody in the NFL is happy to be playing a Thursday night game.
True story.
These guys want to get back on the field that bad. 38-17 Birds. Boat race.
Come on, dude.
Offense, defense.
Offense, Alshon. Defense, Jordan Hicks.
I want to say one thing though. Doug
Say
Better,
two.
the first couple drives when
buffet here,
all
Dan.
the scripted plays, Doug better draw up some crazy shit because I need to be like 14-0 after the first quarter. I'm tired of these slow starts.
And I think they are too. I mean, they talked about, they come out fast. Come out fast. Well, nothing changed on the way we run plays. This is the same way we ran plays last year.
I was going to say, I don't think they need to draw up any crazy shit. I think they just don't be conservative. Just go out and run your offense.
Execute it.
Yeah, just run your offense. I'm going to run into the middle of the line to see what the safeties do. And then I'm going to run to the outside to see what the corners do. And then now all of a sudden, now it's 3rd and 8, and I have to pass. Well, last year, you used to throw on first down, and you'd be 2nd and 3. Well, then you had your pick. You want to run or throw. And if you didn't get it on 2nd and 3, now you're at 3rd and 3, and everybody in the world's expecting you to throw, and you're running for 10 yards.
Yeah, I'm a big
Like
believer
they
in
need to
throwing
go
the
back
football.
to doing what they do best, which is throw on first down, get positive yards, and then let that dictate your play calls on second and third down.
But here's the problem from this year to last year is you get that second and 3, and then you get a false start, and then you get a holding call. You know what I mean? And now you're looking at third and 41.
But then the blame shifts to Doug. Well, he's not calling the same game. He absolutely is. You throw to get leads in this league, okay? You don't run to get leads. Them days are over, babe. You throw in this league. One, the softened defense is up, so you can get in your second and 3, second and 2s, where now play action becomes a thing that you can do. There's so many other options in second and 2.
Well, hold on a second. Who's the best running back in the NFL right now?
Gurley.
Okay. Do they throw to get leads?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do they have 3 stud wide receivers? Yes.
I don't think they have regular – like, it's literally play action or actually running. Like, I don't think they have any shotgun throws.
But when you have a stud running back,
no, I know
like that,
you have to respect
you
it.
can use play action on every pass play.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, like, to open a game, like with this current running back core, to open a game with a play action, not the pass, but the play action, it's just like, oh, we know it's a pass. So why don't you just start off in a shotgun and throw the ball instead of trying to play action with this running back group where you're not handing the ball off.
You still hope to freeze somebody. I mean, that's all you can hope for. Mike Parker says 21-17, Carson and Nigel. Two-gun Tommy opening drive, Wentz taking down the TD we need. Todd Womack said exactly time to get back to being pissed off and not giving this team excuses. Deems says season's over. I think Deems is out. Are you out, Deems?
Well, you're a fucking bum.
Lion says Foles. Lion says Foles in the slot. Parker says changing to Nigel. 27-17, Carson and Jordan.
Kicker with a walk-off.
Where's all these people that are coming up with Nigel all of a sudden? Like, has he shown us anything this year to lead you to believe that
he recovered a fumble?
I think it's hope.
I just to your point and to Danny's point earlier, you got to pick someone in the defense.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's pick an 11-sided coin and see who it falls on.
Somebody on the defense not named Jordan Hicks, basically.
And Jalen Mills.
Deems and Me of Everything were talking about EDP's video. Wiped his ass with the flag and all that bullshit.
All I know is I told everybody at this station that watches us, whatever, that guy was the biggest fucking front-runner piece of shit on YouTube. And that the minute the Birds did something he didn't like, he was going to turn.
I'll tell you one thing, though. It was funny that he really pulled his pants down. Like, what are you doing, bro? You showing your ass? Like, is EDP doing porn now? Like, I'm so confused. But, yeah, he's a crumb, dude. I don't buy into him. But I don't think anybody in our chat does because everybody's hammering him.
As well they should.
TDP said, I would argue Kamara is the best because he can catch the ball with consistency of an all-pro receiver. So, yeah, but Gurley can too, though, in a way.
Yeah.
Gurley catches the ball well. I don't know.
But here's the thing.
Depends what you want. Depends what you want, brother.
If you try to give Kamara the ball 25 times a game, he's done by week 11.
That's true. So, I'm going to go. I'm in the same corner as Mike. I don't care. It's a divisional game. I think this team puts it together on Thursday night. I think they put it all together, all phases. I'm looking for a team that hasn't scored over 24 points this year to get over 24. I've said it. I thought they would last week. I think they get. I'm going to say 28-10. I was going to say 28-14. Still a 2-score game. 2-touchdown game. And to me, in a divisional game, that's a blowout.
I mean, Giants are at home, and they have Odell and Saquon. They're going to put up at least 14-17. You're not holding them to 10.
No. I'll give them 2 touchdowns. They score 2 touchdowns. But I think we get after Eli. We make him uncomfortable. We're the best run defense in football. Show up, act like it on Thursday, and we'll be okay. I mean, Saquon's going to do some things that Saquon does, but I think overall that, we can load up and go get him. I want to see press coverage out of Jim Schwartz more tomorrow night. I have to. I gotta make him beat me deep. Make that offensive line protect for longer as well.
How crazy would it be though, knowing that Emory was on here talking about Kyle Lauletta, if the Eagles just loaded up, brought the house, and wound up knocking Eli out of the game, and we actually saw Lauletta tomorrow night. That would be almost prophetic on his part. talking about Laletta, and then all of a sudden there he is.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
It could. But we have to. Our front four has to go get him. We have to go get him. He's not going to even make moves like Kirk Cousins did. You know what I mean? When Kirk can't even move, but he moves okay. Right? But this guy ain't moving nowhere.
And Kurt's still young enough, and he's got the arm strength that he can throw off his back foot.
Yeah, Eli
can't do that. He's
Eli
never good.
can't.
He's never good.
This is the time for our defense to feel good about themselves. This is a game where I said it right Sunday when it ended. I smell a 6-8 sacker coming. I mean, ebb and flow of football. This defense has not got to the quarterback enough. And if they're getting paid big time money up front for guys to go get the quarterback, that thing evens out. And I think this is a week where you can go get 6. And a lot of guys feeling good.
Week 1, they were all in Ryan's face. And since then, we have not seen the pass rush. They had met Ryan running for his life. And I haven't seen that since.
No.
It's been over a month.
Well, hopefully they wake the hell up and we see it. But I'll go. I'm going to go Carson. I think Carson has a great game. Like he's been. I think he's going to continue to get stronger and better. So I'll stay with 11 on the offense side of the ball. And I look right up front. Who's my big money guy? Who just restructured because he's a team guy and all that? Okay, you need to fucking dominate.
Used to be a big money guy.
Yeah, he needs to dominate tomorrow night.
He's still getting that.
No,
money.
I know.
We talked about it in the playoffs, Danny. We talked about it for every playoff game. I need to see. I want to hear 91's name on every play. Okay, I understand it's not realistic, but that's it. That's the impact that I need from Fletcher Cox on Thursday night, one of your leaders of this football team. Because I'm looking right at my leaders. I'm looking at the offensive side of football. Carson Wentz, who you can tell is taking these losses hard, and I'm going to look right to my defense leader, my big money man, and that's Fletcher Cox.
And he showed a glimpse of that on Sunday when he told Jalen to hit the bricks, or get off the field for, his antics on that play. I thought that was a huge moment in the game.
Me too. I love that.
And his leadership, and then to see him discussing it as men on the sidelines, you know what I mean? And then,
It shows Jalen's respect for
absolutely.
him as well.
Oh, there's no question. But oh yeah.
I am messing with him.
Jay was like, oh yes sir.
All right, we'll get out of here in a minute.
Yeah, but like just to see them both then take it off and discuss, I just thought it was a big moment inside of a loss.
Which shows the locker room still together. You see other teams, they start bad-mouthing each other as soon as they start losing. It shows that they're still together. So you should still have high. I'm not. That's why. I'm concerned, but I'm not worried. I know they'll get it together.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
I like that concern, but not worried.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Because if you're not concerned by it, then there's something wrong. I mean, there's just things that are concerning, But yeah, I'm not there yet. Like we talked about last Wednesday. You jumping? No, I'm not jumping yet. Yeah, and I thought Minnesota was close to a must-win, but this is the definition of a must-win. Right. That's all it is. Fab, thanks for jumping in when you guys are the best. I see all your scores, players of the game. Screenshot them.
Send
them over to me.
Slide in DMs.
Slide in DMs. Or just go to A2D's DMs, okay, on Facebook or Instagram. Send them over to me. So I got them. Send you $50. I mean, Jesus Christ. Take the lady out. If you got a guy, take him out. I don't know what to tell you, but take something out. I'm talking to my ladies. Ladies got a guy. Guys got, no, I'm not going there. Guys got, whatever. Your significant other. It's 2018. I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it right. Significant other. Because YouTube might hit like Facebook thinking I said something wrong, and I didn't mean it like that. Jesus, God. Can't win.
You're an idiot.
Exactly. Trying to tell people.
I didn't call you a fucking idiot. No, I called him an idiot. I didn't call him a fucking idiot.
You guys, listen, love y'all. TTP, Andy, me about everything. Deemsy, Two Gun Tommy.
Yeah. All y'all.
Tom Womack.
There's Tom Womack. Tons of you. Thanks, fam. Go Birds. Big game. We're dominating tomorrow night. All right? See you boys this weekend. We out. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. Real Talk Studios. I'd like to thank our Wednesday night sponsor, though, Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountant. Make him yours. Find him on the web, gibsonmayer.com. Thank you, Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Dr. Paul every Sunday with us. And Leaf Solutions. I know people out there. You're burning. Use A2D Save. Save 20% off Leaf Solutions. All right? Contact me. I'll give you all the details. I know the guy. He can even drop stuff off to you. We out.
I got a guy.